About a year ago, Ilford released a new film product called Ortho Plus 80, which is pretty exciting because I'm all up for companies releasing new film stock. But what's the difference? Well, it's actually to do with how the film captures and renders light. So Ortho actually stands for orthochromatic, and unlike the majority of black and white films already on the market, so your HP5, FP4, Codex T-Max, they're actually panchromatic. So what's the difference? Well, if we look at the description that Ilford give for Ortho Plus 80, maybe that will kind of give us an understanding of what the difference is. So they say, its lack of red sensitivity also means that reds and oranges in your frame are rendered darker with stronger contrast, and that it's ideally suited for landscape photography. So basically, what that means is which colours are translated from the visible light spectrum onto the film emulsion. Orthochromatic film was actually invented before panchromatic film, and it wasn't until the early 1900s when filmmakers started to make that transition. Due to orthochromatic's lack of red sensitivity, however, this can cause skin tones to look darker. I think I read somewhere that old black and white film actors used to wear grease paint to counter this. However, when I made a portrait of myself, I thought the skin tones were quite pleasant. Currently, Ilford only produce Ortho Plus in 3 formats: 35mm, 120, and 4x5. Another common attribute of orthochromatic film is their tendency to have a low ISO rating. This is just due to the fact that they're less sensitive to light, as mentioned earlier, and because of this, it might make the film less attractive to some people. However, what attracted to me wasn't necessarily because it's new, but because of this lack of red sensitivity. It's because I used to do a lot of black and white photography with red filters, and maybe this Ortho Plus film might allow me to scrap the filter altogether. So I went out to a few places and made some images. Seeing as it mentions on Ilford's website that the film was kind of made for landscape photography, I kind of thought I'd come out to a wooded area, not too far from where I live, and haven't been here before as well. It seems quiet. I've come out in the morning because they're predicted to be really sunny today, so I thought if I get out early then hopefully there'll be a nice temperature still to actually kind of wander around, especially with the big old bag I've kind of got on me at the moment. So as there's lots of green, I'm kind of curious now to see how that's kind of produced within the film, within the greys. I think it's supposed to kind of be maybe slightly brighter than kind of panachromatic films. But again, I've not used an orthochromatic film before, so it would be interesting just to kind of see the results really. So let's kind of have a wander around and see if there's anything interesting that we can find. So I've just set up the camera because I came across these nice magenta looking flowers. I'm not too sure what they are, but I thought I'd just take a picture anyway. It'd be interesting to know how the actual kind of colours kind of render, I suppose, on the film to see if they actually darken down or not like they would with reds. I guess they might not as much, but again, it'd still be interesting kind of to see really. So yeah, set up the camera and I'll show you what I've kind of done and then I'll meet her. looking at the results, the one thing I would agree upon from Ilford's description is that the grain is definitely fine. However, I actually prefer the presence of grain, as this kind of can add texture and depth to an image. Even though I rated the film at 80, the images almost seem to look overexposed when I scan them into the computer. Maybe this is just due to the natural kind of contrast quality. They were definitely contrasty more than what I'm used to. However, I was actually surprised at the amount of shadow detail the images were able to retain. That being said though, I actually prefer flat to image because I often edit my photos, and having more information either side gives me more flexibility, so I find panchromatic films to be more versatile. If I want to manipulate the colour sensitivity of a film, I can just use a filter, where with Ortho Plus 80, you're kind of stuck into having that look really, and I might not want every frame to be that contrasty. I could definitely see myself using this in certain situations. However, with the low ISO rating, I'd probably just use it for landscape scenes. So if you're a black and white photographer that actually enjoys high contrast images and isn't too worried about the longer shutter speeds, maybe this film is an option for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.